Hey, that was 1.5 seconds. So we're gonna go to turn 22. I think we can skip the landing phase. One thing I wanted to check, but I was so busy trying to be at 22 seconds. Naval fire barrage. One undisrupted U.S. infantry unit with a radio or in command of an HQ has to be in the target's field of fire. If these requirements are met, the German-occupied hex is barraged. It gets a disrupted marker and a depth marker is removed from play. German units are never eliminated by a barrage. A reinforcement position with an unrevealed German unit may not be barraged. So you have to reveal, so you have to basically attack it once and get the top to be revealed before you can barrage it. But it's still a nice option, because if we end up realizing that it's brutal or if it needs some kind of weird flanking, that's something we can do to weaken it significantly. Like one of the things I'm contemplating is this guy needs a flank, and you can see I'm having a hard time setting it up, especially because he's here. But then he has a building depth marker, and I've been talking about getting rid of these building depth markers. So, you know, should I barrage these buildings so I can get rid of the building depth marker, and then maybe that opens the door. And with this being only a strength 4, the bottom one gets doubled, right? So if I do this range attack, I don't have double strength. But if I get rid of the 4, I will have at least more strength than him. Or no, actually, once he's doubled, I won't. So that's the challenge. But I could possibly kill this because these two can attack here, and he's got a strength of 6. I'm not flanking it. That's the problem. I'm not flanking it. I can never destroy something that's alone. The best I can do is disrupt it. And if I ever attack it and not double its strength, it gains a depth marker. That's what's crazy. So you got to be really careful about attacking those if they don't have a depth marker. You got to make sure you actually can defeat it. And since it's a building, it does get doubled. So that's a strength 8 unit, just this here. And then we don't even know what that is yet. Okay, no beach phase, but let's do this. Looks like a bunch of guys for first are landing. Here's our HQ for first, and first again. All right, so where do we want this next HQ to go? We have one there. I think we want one like here. We want to get deep and place it back there. So I think what I'm going to do is put this HQ here, and then we can land and we can just barrel up, and see this is a slope. So the HQ could go up the slope. There's no limit to the HQ. It doesn't need to stay on a road or anything. It just can't go up a cliff. And then he can cut across and start positioning something deep into enemy territory. And then we have a bunch of infantry here. This is another one of those nice 2 Rangers. I'm going to give this to the general. So we're going to land that way. And then the HQ, I'll give 2 more for him. And then I'm just going to have another one for the general. And who cares if they're concentrated units? The other thing I can do is just give these to the HQ, and they'll just move with the HQ. How about that? So we'll give the HQ some nice protection on his way up. I think that's perfect. So let's do that and get the HQ in place. All right, so event card. These are always interesting. Turn 22. German reinforcements, place 1 in zones A and G. Okay, so we look at A. I think A5 is the next one. So it gets a German division reinforcement with a mobile depth. And then I think it said G was the other one. G4. So that just made this a little more tricky, but we got a rock a rhyme that's right on time. And we got it. So that's the event. Now let's see. We need them to fire. The purples are disrupted. We're in good shape, actually, with the firing action. So we got a double orange with an F. I think F just means fire. Let me look. F is fire. And if there's nobody within their zone of control or fire range, then nothing happens. So there's no orange to be seen to attack. Well, there is one, but we're not in his attack zone, this orange right there. Okay, then we have a double red. There are no reds on the board, and there's no reds within 2 spaces of a US unit, so we don't have to worry about that. And then the purples do trigger, and that purple was a nasty one, remember? But the purple was disrupted on both spots. So remember, this purple here is on the east side, so both of the disruption markers go away, but I don't think it's going to matter. Their days are numbered. So that's that side. Now we go to the other side. We don't want a red, and that's the issue with this one. A red can be pretty problematic for us, and we did draw a red. So it's an A, which is advance or fire. It's going to advance if a position has advance arrow and requirements are met, otherwise fire. It's going to fire. It's already in a VP spot. I don't think it advances when it's in a VP spot, but it's a diamond, and this one's spared, that one's spared, the general spared. These two are not in his fire range, and neither is this. So we're actually okay. And then this red over here is disrupted, so we got lucky. The nest is red, but with an A action, it's no action. There's a nest here that's red, and it could potentially get reinforced because we don't have it cut off from communication yet. Okay, and then purple M. M is mortar. The mortars are not nice to us, so they do hit if the symbol matches. So this one is going to hit if there is a diamond symbol within 3 spaces, and that's where, unfortunately, this one does get hit. So he was spared from red here, but he's going to get hit from that mortar. So that stinks. That's from the purple M. And this other purple would fire a mortar, but there's no diamond within 3 spaces. And then the blue is a P, and it's no action. You can see here, there's a blue within 2 spaces, but it says no action if it's unoccupied. And I'm looking around, I don't see any other blues. So we're good there. So we took 1 hit. I guess it could be a lot worse. Then we draw another card. And what did I say? This is turn 22. So we're gonna get German reinforcements in zones B and D. Okay, so let's look at B, electric, B electric. B2, right there. And the other one was D. There's a D3, and it's gonna be a mobile. All right, so we got a lot of reinforcements coming out, and we're on engineers. Okay, so the HQ range goes up to 3 now. Good. These engineers, we're going to increase their range, and they're eventually going to catch up and then overcome. And I'm pretty sure, based on my understanding of the rules, I can't increase that one as well. I can only pick 1. So I'm going to pick these ones, and we're going to increase their range. So they now have a range of 1. And so we already get a garrison. A garrison goes here, And then this shingle here and here is clear. So we can now get our units up. So that's good. And then the engineer that was over here, I can't even remember where I put him. Right there he is. So these two are clear. And yes, we have another garrison in place. Gotta love that. I find that to be very fun. I did sneak a peek at Tarawa, and I think some of the rules with the Japanese are pretty interesting too. So I'm actually quite excited to try that. Somebody did specifically ask me to do B-17. I actually personally know the Dean Brown, the designer of B-17, and I feel very bad because I have not done his game yet. In fact, I think the only people who have done a video for his game has been Dean Brown himself. I never count unboxings. I think unboxings are silly. I mean, obviously, if you just want to get an overview of the game, I'm not saying it's silly from that perspective, but from a gameplay perspective, unboxings are worthless. And I really think that people do unboxings because it's cheap. They can just sit and do a 20-minute video and crank something out. And then they don't have to actually read the rules of the game. And I'm quite convinced that most of them don't. But I'm being cynical, and I apologize for that. So jumping back to this. We did the engineer, we did the HQ. Yeah, so now it's time to rock. Let's do our actions here. Coming over here, I think we can finally take out red. This would be an action to move up, and I will spend an action to do that. This guy gets to attack for free, and he will. This one attacks for free. I may want to attack with this one. And this one, I'm going to move this way so we can maybe, in case we need flanking requirements. And this one I will move in even though he's not participating in the attack. So that's the thing. We have 4 plus 7 is 11. So I'm going to add this. This is now 2 actions I just spent. And we're going to attack this. And we needed to because that's a 6. And it's a bazooka and a Browning. We have the bazooka. The Browning comes from him. So we do double him because it's 4, 7, 14, and he's a 6. And then this is 4 more, so he's at a 10. He needed a flank. And unfortunately, this guy was not in position, so we're not flanking him. But we do have the demolitions. So at minimum, we're going to disrupt him, and I'm fine with that because disrupting him prevents him from attacking us. So he will be flanked next turn, thanks to him. This, I do want to get, and maybe I'm being a little premature moving that one. I moved him because he's next to the general. We're going to leave purple alone because, I mean, obviously he can mortar us, but there's no reason to be next to him yet. We're not ready to move towards him, so I'm going to just leave it be. So, yes, I will leave it be. Yep, those guys are clogging. They're garrisoning, basically. The HQ has a range of 3. So 1, 2, 3. You can see I'm now impacting a whole bunch of units, and these are all free actions. This is wonderful. So this command post is just rocking it right now. This guy needs a flanking and a bazooka. He is not going to participate. Neither is him, unless they need a bazooka. Nope. This guy's got the bazooka right there, and we just need him to participate for the flanking. So we just need these two. This guy is actually going to move after he's killed, of course. This is an 8. See, there's a bazooka, and then these two are flanking. So these two alone can attack and kill this guy. He's a brown. There was no communication path, so he's out of the game because he couldn't retreat. The reason I was deliberate about that is because I wanted him to move up to clog orange, and then these guys, we keep forgetting something. I actually get 2 movement points now. with my infantry. That was a huge mistake on my part. So this guy over here is going to move again to there. I totally keep forgetting about that, folks. We get 2 movement points. There was no need to take so many turns. So this will go there. These guys are going to move up. And I'm going to move these 2 up to here so I can hit him from afar. But I get 2 movement points. And it does say, though, that if you hit a bocage or, you know, the hedgerows, you have to stop. So, for example, these guys are going to move 1 space and then have to stop. But this one can move 2 spaces. And we're still in range of the HQ. He already took his action. Okay, he can't. He can, but this is a mined road, so he can't move yet. But these guys can. And the engineer did just clear this, so the engineer does provide a free move. This one will free move. This one will free move. And now we're at our stacking limit. So then what's going to happen is this one's just going to move over to the engineer. And then these ones are moving because the headquarters is giving them a move. So we're going to make sure that there's plenty of people to pour through the moment the engineer clears these areas. Then we have an HQ over here providing free actions. We got this thing. So we know this needs a Browning and a flank and an artillery. So this guy has to attack, and both of these have to attack in order to provide the flanking. So all 3 of them are attacking, but it's all free actions. So this is finally destroyed, and that's a nice building depth out of the game. And then, of course, it's disrupted. And now he's easy peasy to kill because all that needs is a Browning. And then these units get to move, and I'm just now remembering I can move 2 spaces. So this one is going to go up 1, 2. This one is going to go form a concentrated unit with him. And can the headquarters move 2 spaces? I think it could have. So I took way too long to get my headquarters up here. So that's my fault. But he's up here now, and that is only 1 move, by the way, to go up the bluff. I have to stop there. So everybody's moving up, and this guy is protecting or garrisoning for now. So coming over to here, this guy just needs a mortar. So I'm going to I'm just looking up, these infantry down here have to go up a slope, and I was wondering, do they get 1 movement or 2? And they do get 2. I would like to suppress this guy. This is a mortar. What did I do? This is supposed to be gone. That's the underneath. This was the one on top. Sorry. That's a bazooka. Okay. So that one's a lot easier to take out. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. This guy, I can move 2 spaces, so I'm going to move 2 to clog that from reinforcing. That's the perfect use of him. This only needs a bazooka to die. And this guy could provide it, but I know I don't have the flanking to overcome him, but I want to disrupt him. And so what I'm contemplating is I'm going to attack him with my heavy machine gun here and this guy who's inspired. We won't flank him, but because that's 7 plus 6 is 13, we will have enough to disrupt him. So by disrupting him, I can now move these guys 2 spaces. So this one can move to here, which I know isn't very exciting. I'm sorry, I would just put it here. But he can take this out next turn. This one can move up just because he can. And this one can move 2 spaces. He's in the intense fire zone, but he's disrupted now. And now the question is could I have flanked him somehow? And my answer is no, I can't. So I'm going to need another turn to get him flanked. And it's largely because of the hedgerows. I can't move 2 spaces through these hedgerows. I know I didn't finish him off, and so he's a problem. But you know what? I still could have attacked with this little crappy dude. He's a strength 2. He's double that. He doesn't have the bazooka, but he still can disrupt him. So let's do that. So now moving on. This guy now has a range of 3. So there's a lot of free movement going on. The engineer provides free movement. So here you can see my 2 artillery is going to come up like so. These 2 tanks are going to come onto the field. And this one will move 1. And then this tank will move 1. So they're all moving 1 over. That one takes an actual action. So that's one of my actions. I'm not worried about that. I have plenty of actions. Everybody else is doing stuff for free. So I'm looking at the situation. I mean, I could... This guy has a range of 2. So I'm going to position him. I could position him here, but orange can actually hit him. I'm going to position him here and try to hit green. That is a double, so I got to be careful. I could move these forward, but then I'm potentially going to get a catastrophic failure or whatever with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these 2 up like so. These 2 are going to move 2 spaces. And you can see this is another one that can shoot 2 spaces. So now basically 2 heavy machine gun units can fire at this. And I'm going to have strength of 14, so I'm not going to be as worried about the double-double. This one... So I'm trying to decide just how much do I really want to charge. And my artillery is getting up there. It's just going to need 1 more turn before it's in place. And once that artillery is in place, I'm going to be able to do some hurt. I do have this naval gunfire. I really could put on some hurt in a lot of places. Just don't know when to use it. This guy, for example, can do some serious moving. And I could get him here so we can start taking out purple. Do I want to, is the question. And I have 2 units I can bring in. See, moving here is a little weird because now I can be attacked by gold or purple. This at least is just purple. This one, I got to be careful because it's an intense... This is an intense fire, or was it this way? Was he like that, or was he... I think both of these guys were injured, weren't they? No, I don't think he was. Because that's the whole reason I brought up the intense fire thing. So, what I'm debating is, do I go after these 2 yet? And my answer currently is no. Let's take out green. That's what I'm setting myself up to do, is to weaken green, get him disrupted. Then I can get my Rangers in place to weaken them one at a time, right? Because these guys shoot at a range of 2. And then eventually, this is my priority, is to clear these guys out, because then my tanks can drive up and come in. And then from there, we can start really doing some disruption. Okay, I'm moving slow. My naval gunfire cannot attack anybody unrevealed. So actually, my thoughts about using that to help is really actually not that necessary. So, end of turn. We are now on turn 23. It's now mid-tide. And then all beach obstacles are clear. So the tide actually went back down. I didn't even know that happened. So we got to be careful now, because the engineers are necessary with their range to give you movement points. Because these units, of course, are going to be not as high up. So we have a anti-tank that goes anywhere in the first, and we have one that's in the ER. So the ER one we're going to put here. Well, we got to wait. Let's land them at the beach. These are infantry, so they land automatically, and it's mid-tide, so they actually land further back. These are infantry and a headquarter, and they unfortunately land mid-tide. So that stinks. So I didn't have to draw a card. These ones are going to land right here where the engineer is. And then this is anywhere in the first. And I'm going to land him here as well because, well, no, he's not going to be able to get through. I'm going to land him there. They need a lot of help with the cards to even be able to land, but that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, so now it's the event. We're on turn 23. And unexpected U.S. naval fire hits position WN 66 South, A6, and G5. So what do these symbols mean? Does that mean it's hitting us and not them? There is actually a page in here that defines what these do. We have to draw a fire card to randomly determine which of the 3 positions is hit by a barrage of U.S. naval artillery fire. The position listed in the event card with the target selector shown on the fire card is hit. If there's a German unit, it's disrupted and the depth marker is eliminated. If there's U.S. units, we draw a second fire card. 1 U.S. unit in the position with the target symbol loses a step. If no units in the position have the target symbol in the second fire card, we're safe. If no units are in the position, nothing happens. Leaders are not affected. And this does not cost us a naval marker. Ooh, this is interesting. So let's see what the spots are so we can figure out who to cheer for. 66 South is this guy. We do not want that one. That would be a diamond. This is an A6, which is, I think, empty. I'm looking. I'll tell you when I find it. There's A5, B1, A7, ooh, A6. Ooh, we want A6, we want A6. And then G5. Ooh, we want A6 or G5. All right, so we just need this for a reference. I'm going to lay that here, and you can do a drum roll. We do not want diamonds. 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 We do not. We got a circle. Which one? It's G5. I will take it. G5 sounds wonderful. So it gets disrupted, and it loses its depth marker, which is the building. So let's take a peek at this one. Ooh, look at that. That was the naval artillery one. Yes! So we still have 2, mind you, but okay, that was an awesome event. It could have actually backfired big time on us, but very good. Now it's their turn to attack. Double gold. There's 2 of them in play, and it has an A on it. Okay, so A, I think, is advance. So let's look at the 2. This one here cannot, there's US units more than 2 spaces away, and then nothing's in its range. So it's a reinforcement position. It's occupied, but there's no US units in the field of fire. And then A is the very last one, so he's going to advance according to 16.8. And so then it's as simple as you just look here to see if he has an arrow, and he doesn't. So he's not advancing. So he just stays put. The other one is here, and he would advance, but he would advance to a place that we occupy. So he stays put. And there is nobody in his field of fire. We're sort of careful about that. Now next is green, and he can hit a leader, but we were careful there too. Green's field of fire doesn't hit any of us, so we're good there. Next is a double brown, and that one, so we drew an F, so he would fire, but oh, there's one guy here. Nope, that's his own guy. Oh, we do have somebody. Oh, I never would have done this. Yeah, I never would have done this. I made this guy overstacked, but I thought it was because he was disrupted. I didn't see the brown. So I am changing where this guy goes, and I would put him here over the garrison. Actually, I'd probably keep him near the HQ unit. So I would have put him here with the hero. And my apologies there. And it's bad enough because, look, we're taking a hit. Brown is firing, and we are in the range of Brown, and our unit does take a hit. So that's already bad enough. But I didn't see that there. Okay, so we did take a hit. That's unfortunate. And now we go to this side, and what do we get? We got a double purple. That means we skip this one. That one's disrupted. So all that happens is he gets his disruption removed. He wasn't a double either. And are there any purples that are within range of our units? And the answer is no. Next is a double blue. We do have a blue within range. It's an A. And it says that if it's unoccupied, it's an ambush. So 1 US unit within its field of fire is hit based on the fire chart. So blue can hit, we have a triangle. This is not a triangle. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not able to see. This blue is unoccupied, but he's ambushing. It's a triangle, so nobody gets hit with the ambush, because they have to have the indicated target symbol. So got to be careful there. Those blues can be sneaky, huh? Well, here's another one. Okay, this one gets hit. See the little symbol? But it's just a disruption on us. But that also hurts because I think this needs a flank. Nope, it just needs a browning now, so we're good there. And then the last one's green. And it's an R, which is not going to be good because there's 2 greens that are going to trigger. First of all, there's this one over here. And that one is a redeploy. This one here, because nobody's in its field. Oh, we got 1 person in its field of fire. Hold on. He's going to place a depth marker if he doesn't have one, and he's going to fire. So we have a triangle, and we get a disruption on the ranger. Okay, but then 2 other things are going to happen. See this green guy here? He's within 2 spaces. So he is going to reinforce. And that's a VP unit. So we're going to grab a division and a mobile, and he'll reinforce. And then we got the same situation here. And that's also a mobile. So we just got some reinforcements pour in to both of those green spots. Okay, so now it's another event. We're on turn 23. And it says, if the German rocket artillery unit in W69 has fired at least once, it is destroyed by US naval fire. So we have to remember what's happened over the last couple of hours and days. And one thing I can tell you is that the rocket has fired, but did it fire this game or did it fire on a previous playthrough? I can tell you with certainty that I know it fired. I want to think it did not fire at all in the first playthrough. That much I can tell you. The second playthrough we lost by turn 10. And it's called the Screaming Mimes. And I remember talking about it, and I had to look it up in the rule book. I even remember it's called Screaming Mimes. So, did it fire? The answer is yes, but I'm just trying to remember which game it was. So I think it was this game. I don't even feel like going through my hours and hours of videotape to see. So from here on out, folks, that's a lesson learned. Because of that event, we may want to put some kind of special marker on that thing to indicate that that's fired before. But it would be destroyed. And it's not super hard. If it was a tactical reinforcement, and there's hardly any reinforcements left, it would have needed a mortar and a bazooka. I mean, it wasn't like it was the hardest thing in the world, but yeah, it's the Screaming Mimes event, and it's just a question of was it this game or the last game that we saw it? Okay, now it's our headquarters time. So our headquarter range is still going to be 3. And then we're going to move this engineering range to 2. And so let's study the impacts of that. We are going to get a garrison here. This is now open. And another garrison will go here. So we're starting to get some good coverage there. And then if we come over to here, there's no new garrisons, but we're now into the draw. So we can, okay, that's that. Nothing more we have to do there. It did say, because we're back to mid-tide, that all the mines are clear, so we don't have to worry about these tokens. Now, mind you, this whole beach was cleared by us anyways. This one was not. And there was a small spot here that mines could have still hit us. But this engineer unit with a range of 2 clears these mines. So even before we hit turn 23, these were clear. Because that's one of the other functions that an engineering base does, is it clears mines, it like plays traffic cop, getting people off the beach with free actions. It lets you clear mines there, etc. But we can take all of these off the board because turn 23 said that everything's clear. So basically, it's not a factor anymore. All right, action time. I'm happy with things. I think the fact that that purple got hit was nice. His thing got removed because we drew a purple, but it was at least nice while it lasted. This guy needs a bazooka and a Browning, and then a flank. So you can see we need 6 plus 4 is 10. This guy is 6. This guy is 7 for 13. This is 4, 17. That's 6 more. So I'm seeing that I don't necessarily need to use this guy. So I can do it with just these 3. Or I can do it with just these 3 and then move him. And that might be the better outcome. Yes, I will. So do I have the bazooka and Browning? Yes, he's a full strength unit. So this is destroyed. So we've got another building depth gone. This guy is going to come back in the game if we don't cut off communications. You see that? So So I want to do something about that before we attack him again. And the engineer is here. So this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him 2 spaces to here. And now he's in a position where he can mow down this and that. And I like that. This one loses its disruption marker. And all 3 of these guys attacked. This one gets to move 2 spaces. So what I'm going to do is move 1, 2 like this, because that's not a bokage. So I'm going to move 2 to here, and he can't escape anymore. That's what we want. We don't want any survivors. We don't want to see these guys again. This one, obviously, we can go after him in a bit. This HQ has a range of 3, so everybody in this general area is getting free moves. This, by the way, could still reinforce, so we can't move him yet, and same with him. So they're stuck for now. I think I've spent 1 action so far. That's this one. Coming over. We just all of a sudden got this guy right in front of us, and we are in a fire stream. These guys have 8 strength, which is not the most strength in the world. This one can shoot 2. He was gunning to go attack him, so we'll just switch targets and go here. This has a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 3. So that's action 2. This is a free action. So let's go here. It needs to be flanked and a Browning. We're clearly not flanking it, but we do have the Browning and we have double. So he's at least disrupted. And then he's another guy we need to cut off. So the fact that he has flank is fine. This guy is in 1, 2, 3 range. So I'm going to move. So here's the question. Is that a bokage hex? I mean, it's sort of there. I'm going to assume that it is, so I was only able to move 1 space. I do have to worry about communication, but he's just going to go in and cut that off. This one is a nice heavy unit. I'm going to move 2 spaces to join him, and yes, it's a concentrated unit, but I'm doing it because nobody can attack it, and he's disrupted. Or at least that's the plan. 1, 2, 3. So this headquarters can at least help this tank move. The engineer has a range of 2. So basically everything here gets to move. This guy would require an action to move. This one I can at least move up and help block reinforcements. And then yes, this HQ over here is providing free actions to a whole bunch of people. We're disrupted here. I can't remember why, but we are. And this guy just needs a Browning. So who's going to do it? This guy has a Browning. He has a free action. He's got a strength of 4. That's double him. So we'll take that out. So this guy's gone. And it was a bright yellow, so he doesn't get reinforced. Okay, so we get to do 2 movement points. So I'm going to move 1, 2 with him. And this one's going to move just 1 to there. And then the headquarters and this guy are both going to move 1, 2 to here. So yes, we have a concentrated unit. And this guy was next to the HQ, so we're going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2 with another set of concentrated units. Just got to make sure green can hit us, so we're not going to concentrate. So this one will go 1, 2 like that, assuming the other green, yep, that one can't be hit. So here's my plan. I want to get to here and put an HQ down. I think that would be very sweet to be able to do that. So I'm here, and there's one more turn. I can get 2 movement in, and as long as nobody can attack that spot, I can do that with the HQ. Now I can start here with the HQ if I wanted, and the range doesn't matter. The HQ, well actually no, the HQ has to be up on the high ground. So where I'm currently located is actually a very bad spot. But I want to spend one more turn to get up, and then we can let that HQ start spreading its wings, and then that's going to allow us to get pretty deep into the territory. All right, so now going over to this side, this HQ and his 2 units are going to move 2 spaces to there. This one's disrupted with a bazooka, and I think we said we're going to use him to attack that, and it's a free action because he's next to the general. So we just eliminated this, and it's a bright yellow, and then this guy will go and occupy the spot. All free actions because they're next to our general. This one needs to be flanked, and I can move 2 spaces, but see, this is all the hedgerows, so I'm going to move 1 space like this, and now we have him flanked. The general is going to move up, and this will move up with the general, like so. I could move this here, and he still can attack, so now we're cutting off his escape. So I am going to do that. And that was all free move because of the general. Here, the engineer finally busted through. I can move for free 1 more time, like so. This hero can get up onto the road. And since he's on a secondary road, he can get 2 movement points. He's going to get up off the beach. And this one can also get off the beach and be with the tank. These can't move anymore because the mines aren't clear. This has only a range of 2. The artillery is finally up on the high ground. So we're going to now be able to bring death and destruction wherever it may be. And the HQ can now send this artillery on anything. So now I got to make sure, can I get an unrevealed marker? I think I can. With the naval barrage I couldn't, but let's make sure the artillery can. Okay, so one rule clarification. Yeah, I've been playing this game a little bit wrong. It says that in order to conduct an attack, you must have at least 1 unit adjacent. So this thing I've been doing with the heavy weapons, shooting 2 spaces away, is all valid and legal, but I need to have at least somebody adjacent. So I can't just do what I've been doing and just pot shot them from outside of range. I knew that was probably too easy. So the artillery, I can hit an unrevealed marker. That part's not the issue. The issue is at least 1 unit has to be adjacent to do any attack at all. And so we're going to put an asterisk next to this game and whatever score I get. I definitely took advantage of that misunderstanding. Now, granted, I don't think I took advantage of it the entire game, but for these past couple of turns I have. And so from here on out, I will get that corrected. So with that being said, I can leave these here, but now I really do need to go in and get close and personal if I have any desire. So right now with this situation, should he attack, I can now do it, but I couldn't before. So I'm going to get in position then to attack purple and gold. This is an intense fire zone, so I'm not as excited about that. And these two would cause a concentrated unit if I move them anywhere else. So I'm not excited about that either. So I can't necessarily move them, as I guess is what I'm trying to say. But what I can do is move them 2 spaces to the HQ. And what I'm doing is I'm setting up to maybe go that way. And then this one will go 2 spaces over here to maybe fill in for over there. So I'm set to start putting in a World of Hurt. I do have to survive the next round of attack from the Germans. And, but once I do, oh, I moved somebody I shouldn't have moved. I think it was this one. He's here for this. I already did that, so my apologies. I had units here. Nope, I had units here that I moved there. No, they were here. And then this guy was, I think, here. So this guy could move like that, and then what I would do is this guy would move in like that. And my apologies, folks. I moved somebody twice, is what the issue is. This guy was here to set up the flank to cut him off, if you remember. And then these guys get to move too, so they're going to be there. For the stacking limit, by the way, the garrisons don't count towards your stacking limit. Neither do heroes or HQs, but this garrisons are a new thing. And I thought that would be worth pointing out. Okay, I think we're done. We're going to move to turn 24. There are no more reinforcements. So what I have is what I have. Obviously, I'm still trying to land some stuff, and they could get delayed. So let's see what happens here. The circle is an A, and that's an artillery. And I think that means it's going to be delayed 3 more turns. Yep, it's delayed 3 more turns to turn 27. And then we have an anti-tank, which is a triangle. That's a B. So that means it's out of the game. It's not destroyed. I don't know why John Butterfield made that distinction. It's not like they count against your victory points anyways. It could have just as easily been eliminated. But I guess, you know, it is more thematic. So that was not very fun. Turn 24. Command radius for 16 HQ is limited to 1 hex this turn. So where's our 16th HQ? This is the 1/16th. This one probably is the 16th. So this one can only influence 1 spot around him. I think we're okay, because even though we have to spend actions, I have plenty of actions over here. But that does hurt. In fact, I moved some guys out of the HQ's range, so it's not the worst event in the world. Okay, so now they get to fire, and we definitely don't want, I think we're going to be in good shape here. We did get the gold, though, and it's a diamond, so let's make sure that that didn't hurt us, and it did. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this guy gets hit. It could have been any of the other 2 shapes. It is a mortar action. Actually, I got to check, because he may actually not fire. So with a mortar action, he fires. Never mind. He does fire. There's no other gold that does anything. Now we go to blue. There's 1 blue that might do something. That's this one. So he gets a reinforce. Like so. And that's it for blue. And then we have a double brown. This is a brown right here. And this is a brown triangle, and of course it's a diamond, so we're okay. But the brown is an A. Let me look up. It's going to attempt to advance if it has an arrow and the requirements are met. There's no arrow on that one. So does this one does get attacked, and it was a diamond. We just lost our hero. So we now have another catastrophic loss. It's an L116. That's unfortunate. I think he's still inspired, even though he's weak. But yeah, that stinks. Okay, well, we've been doing pretty well this game, so I'm not going to get too bent out of shape. So now we go to the other side. We have a gold, and it's an R. So I'm pretty sure that's a reinforced. But here's the situation, besides the parents going away on a week's vacation, is this would reinforce. There's no reinforcement markers left. If you look over here, all the division and tactical reinforcements are on the board. So I think we're stuck. Well, we're not stuck, but I mean, I think we get I think the Germans are stuck. They put all their reinforcements out and they can't do anything. Okay, so the reinforcement action just says that a new marker comes out. But I think I have to go to the other section that talks about German reinforcements. So this is a German reinforcement triggered by an event, and there's another one that's triggered by a depth marker, but it doesn't say. So it says, if the tactical reinforcement pool is empty, draw a unit from the division. Division reinforcements enter with a depth marker. Got it. If both pools are empty, when a reinforcement unit is called for, the reinforcement unit does not enter play. If you run out of reinforcements during a multiple reinforcement event, then there's a priority procedure you go through to determine which one gets it. So we got lucky then. Orange would reinforce, but there's nothing there, so he gets nothing. And that would have happened again over here. You can see this orange gets nothing. So then blue has a double blue. I don't see any blues in action, but there is a blue within two spaces. And it's an A, so let's make sure. It's an ambush. So this is a circle, and the one that's in its range is not a circle, so we're okay. And then brown. Oh, I did something stupid. This brown could have reinforced, because he's got communication right here. That's a communication path. But brown is just attacking. Nothing happens with brown. So we actually got really lucky on that side. There is artillery, but their artillery is gone. They don't get squat for artillery. Okay, so it's the engineering phase. And those same two engineers, we're going to move up. And then the HQ ranges go up, but obviously that one's impacted by the event. Oh, we got to do another event. Remove Well, the good news is it was after they went and not before. So that part is good. The rest of it is not. So now we got to get them disrupted again. But okay. HQ range went up, the engineering range went up, so let's impact that. So this engineer now goes 3, and so that means this one has finally got a garrison. And 1, 2, 3. We're clear all the way up to here. And that one actually gets a free action because engineers give free actions all the way up the draw if they need to. So that's actually pretty good. Then coming over here, we have a range of 3, and I think we're getting some good reinforcements here. There's one there, and one there. And this one gets a garrison. So we just hit our first reinforcement spot. So I like it. This is actually a very fun part of the game. I do enjoy that. Okay, so now action time. Okay, so we got a lot to do, and we don't have unlimited actions here, but our general gives free actions to these 3. This needs a bazooka and a Browning, so I'm looking for one unit that can do everything. This one unit could, or this one unit could, or I can use both of these. If I use both of these, the general is basically, he can't escape, which is what we wanted. Okay, I'm gonna use both of these and destroy this. And it's out of the game destroyed. Okay, so now with this guy, he gets a free action, so I'm gonna move up. Let's try to take out purple. This one does not get a free action, so I have to spend an action for him. He's gonna move up so we can hit green with this guy. So this guy and this guy can then attack green next turn. And I do get 2 movement points, so did I really want to go there? You know what, I'm gonna move to here, so if I need to flank him, I can always do it with him next turn. This general is going to move here, so they get free actions, and the general will prevent any reinforcements, although right now, unless the unit goes back into the pool, there are no reinforcements. Moving on, since there are no more reinforcements, I could consider moving those rangers out. This is a heavy stream. As soon as you go into a field of fire, you have to stop. So you can't, just go right around them. I'm going to leave these be for now. No. I'm going to move them both there. So that's a strength 6 attack on that at some future point. And then as far as escape goes, I don't know if HQs only block the area it's in, but this guy blocks. This guy blocks. So we got these 2 block. The HQ blocks its own spot. This guy blocks here, and then the garrison only blocks its own spot. So he does draw a path through here, and then to here, but then he gets stuck. Or he can't even go here because of this. So, like I said, there's no reinforcements left, but I still want to control things if I can. And by the way, these VP spots do need you have to park somebody on them in order to get the points. So bear that in mind, that I don't want these guys to drift too far out. Parking someone here is valuable. Okay, so I've done everybody here. A range of 3. These guys are getting free actions, but they're not going to move. I actually do have to spend actions here, so I need to be careful. This guy needs a flank, which unfortunately I don't have. So I need to attack him anyways. Just to just because I need to disrupt him again. So I'm going to do that. So that's my action 2. I'm just going to attack with these guys, right? That's 8 strength. I don't have a flank, but 8 strength is double his. We don't get to reveal the depth marker, but it's disrupted. So now I got to be careful because I only have one more action. So I do need to flank this guy, so I can do it by either going here or I can do it by going there, and I'm going to do this instead. And remember, this is a concentrated unit, so I got to be really careful. So that's my 3 actions, and now I got to deal with my headquarters here, which actually this guy gets to move for free, so he'll move up. And this headquarters is going to move the 2 spaces like we said to here, and I'm making sure nobody can fire in here, and they can't, so we're good to go there. This hero could try to do something. These guys were next to the HQ, so I'm going to move him up. This guy can shoot 2 spaces away. So I'm going to move this one up and this one over. So now we got ourselves a nice attack here. Obviously we don't have a flank set up, but we could if I'm willing to move in, and I might as well. This one is an inspired unit, only with strength 2. So I will move him here to park on that. Actually, what I could do, and what I will do, is I'm going to move him 1, 2. So now we got a flank on this guy. If I wanted it. I don't know if I'm that eager beaver about it, but this HQ, we need to move 2 spaces. So we're going to go 1, 2, and I'm looking at an HQ here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need it to be around in here, or anywhere like this. I'm sorry, you're not seeing what I'm doing. So if this HQ is going to be here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to get to about there in range. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to get to about here. So what I'm doing is I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think my new HQ needs to be somewhere in there. So I'm going to have a little bit of overlap with the 2 HQs to the left and right, and then he'll be able to get down into this, and then he'll be able to get way up north. That's the idea. Moving on, I finally have a flank on this. This would be 1 action. And my general will move over. And then this will move with the general. Those were all free actions. So let's get this done. This is a lot of points. And that would be an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And right there you can see I need naval artillery. And I will use my naval gunfire to eliminate that. And so this is gone. And unfortunately the flanking requirement is still there. So I'm going to have to spend an action next turn. Well, actually, no, I don't. I move my general. This engineering unit moves this guy for free. So I'm going to go ahead and move 1, 2, like that. These tanks can move for free to there. This can move for free to there. This tank can move for free there, and 1 there. And then these guys can move 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And that's all because of the engineer. The engineer had anybody that's not on high ground gets free movements. Now this HQ can only help people on his spot or 1 spot around him. So that's the part that's tricky. These 2 can attack, but he can't. And then if I wanted to attack up here, that would require 2 actions. So that's my problem. So we got to survive another turn now. And that's what blows. But this guy can move. So I'm going to go 1, 2, with him, and then 1, 2 with him. I know I'm getting myself into, you know what, I don't need to be so eager beaver. I'm just going to put them here for now. This guy is not going to be able to attack this turn there. He's just helping here. We're going to do one more action with this. I'm going to reveal this, and it's a flank, which we don't have. But he's disrupted. And he's one of those guys we need to surround and not let him escape. Now, I can attack this with one of my guys. I just don't have enough actions to attack with both because of the HQ limitation. And then this one is even weaker. So should I do it is the question. And I can add a naval gunfire to it, and that'll give me a 15. Could be a real waste of a naval gunfire. But that purple has me scared. If we draw purple, we're done. He's going to hit somebody. Okay, I'm going to do a naval gunfire on this purple. And so we drew, of course, we drew a flank and a Browning. We had the Browning. We had overwhelming strength, but we don't even get to, the naval gunfire was a waste. All he does is get disrupted. But the good news is we would have been disrupted had I not done that. So, I mean, it's not like it was a complete waste, but like I could have used a naval gunfire to just get rid of the depth marker. But it is what it is. That's what they're there for. So I ended up using all my actions because of that event hurting us. But all right, we're moving on. Turn 28, it's now a low tide. So that's interesting. I'm at an hour, so I'm going to hit stop, and I'll see you in a few seconds. Stay awesome.